Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video. We're smashing them out at the moment. We're going to try and keep up this momentum. But yeah, I've just stopped quickly what I'm doing to just film this quick video because I'm about to push the car into the corner of the workshop to live for a couple of months. So yeah, I'm going to show you around. I'm going to show you around a Micra that got dropped off the other week by Dave. And in my opinion, it's one of the coolest Micras in the UK, in the world maybe. So other than my own creation up there, in my eyes, this is the coolest Micra, coolest K11 Micra in the world. So what makes it cool? Well, the first thing is, it's a genuine black Super S, and if you know your Micras, you'll know that the black, well, you'll know that Super S's are quite rare these days, and black is one of the rarest colours they came in, so yeah, genuine black Super S, which is cool. So yeah, we'll just go around the car now and we'll just go look at all the cool bits on it. So the first thing you'll notice that in the intro video there was no engine based shots, and there's a pretty good reason why. It's because we've got no engines, Ted.
Let me ask you a question, Ted. Do you see anything wrong here? No. We got no engines, do we? No, do we? No, do we? No, it's not.
So yeah, unfortunately, we've not got an engine in this Micra yet. So, in its previous form, it was a 1.3 turbo. We built the turbo manifold and parts of the turbo kit for this for Dave some years ago now. It's actually one of the very first turbo kits. Uses a, if I remember correctly, a GT12 Turbo, so we're talking Rover 2-litre diesel territory. It was a nice compact turbo. I actually liked it. It's just they're quite expensive to buy, which is why we don't offer them as part of our turbo kits, but in my eyes, one of the best turbos you could probably use for one of these. And before it went kaput, I believe, if memory serves me correct, it was pushing out 180 horsepower from that little turbo on a log manifold, which was bloody impressive. So we've got the car because Ash at Giz-Motorsport was building the engine. Now Dave has supplied us a automatic block, and the difference between the manual and the automatic blocks is that you see these little bits of casting here in between the cylinders, is that all the manual blocks don't have these bits of support here for whatever reason, but the automatic blocks do. Now, doesn't make it the strongest engine in the world, but when you're trying to push every little horsepower you can out of these engines, every little helps, and a bit of cylinder support goes a long way. Other than that, the car's been delivered to us with pretty much the entire contents of the engine bay inside the car. We've got a load of goodies here. We've got some cams, some ARP bolts. What we've got over there, rock cover. Somewhere in here is the turbo kit off it. But yeah, I really like the interior of this car. You know, a lot of money's been spent on this car. Dave's had this car for absolute years. So obviously over that time you've been able to spend a fair bit of money on it. The old retro gauges there, love it. The genuine carbon fibre door cards, absolutely love it, although I don't think I'm going to be able to afford them for mine this year. Even got door cards on the inside of the rear quarters, which is pretty cool. We've got a pretty robust cage in here. I'd say it's overkill for what Dave does. This is more of like a rally spec cage, so if a tree was to pop out of nowhere, you'd be safe in this cage. But yeah, probably a bit too much steel for my liking, but again, you can never put a price on your life really, so it's just weight at the end of the day. This car has been built with a purpose in mind, so there's been no compromise. So we've got a nice rough and ready delete of the sunroof. We've got plastic windows all the way around, fronts, rear quarters and the rear. The boot lid is fiberglass. The bonnet is also fiberglass with these pretty cool, sick looking air vent holes there. I really do like that. You'll see down here is the intercooler as well. So one of the things we're doing as well is that once the engine's been built and back in, I'm actually debating at the minute whether to just buy a cheap engine to drop in just so we can do all the fabrication work while the engine gets built. But we've got a little tiny intercooler behind the headlight here, and we're going to put a nice big one behind the bumper in this area. But yeah, as you can see, no headlights. These are just plastic covers, which is pretty cool. Obviously saves a bit of weight there. Something we might use for the Thunderwood Micra this year, I've seen people just use a small LED strip at the bottom to indicate when you're in a hot lap. So the lights aren't that heavy, but every kilo counts in that case for this year anyway. The wheels are sick, 13-inch with some pretty beefy Yoki AO48s. Unfortunately, we can't use them in Time Attack, but they would be my tyre of choice if we could. We're limited to AR1s this year, or we've at least had a gentleman's agreement so everyone runs the same tyre. The interior just screams retro, even down to the gauges. You know, it's got all what you need. Your RPM with telltale, air, fuel, water, oil pressure, red is dead, and obviously it was turbo, so it's got a nice boost gauge in there. Steering wheel is removable. I mean, I'm not going to attempt to get in here, although I am on a diet at the minute and I'm losing weight pretty rapidly. I think it's going to take me a good year of losing weight before I can even fit in there, so I'm not even going to attempt to get in. Coming round to the back here, obviously with the nice chunky tyres and wide wheels, we've got some obviously flares on there, or bin lids as the Micra community would say, but these ones actually fit pretty nice. We're in a bit of a pinch with this year, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get the Nismo arches done in time, so that might have to be something that we do with this year to get the clearance that we need. Again, so same with the rear lights. The whole light unit's been chucked in the bin in favour of these clear plastic covers with vent holes in them. And obviously we just got a single light there, which is it a brake light? Yeah, so that's a brake light. So obviously the brake light switch. Obviously no brake lights, well, no proper light units or headlights. Obviously this car is not road legal, so you've been able to do a lot more stuff on this than you would do if it was a road car. The exhaust is the exhaust system that we built for Dave some years ago. This is back when we used to offer the custom tips. We don't do it anymore, so don't ask. So yeah, pretty sick. So just to go over the plans for this car in our possession is the engine's been forged by Giz-Motorsport, 1.3 automatic block. I think we're still aiming to make the same power, we're just aiming for reliability. I believe we melted a piston last time, so obviously go for some stronger pistons, stronger rods and all that jazz. And then our involvement with the car is, once the engine's fitted in, is we're going to refabricate a different turbo kit for it, still using the same turbo, but we're going to go with a different manifold. I think we'll go with a tubular style this time. We're going to put a bigger intercooler in there, because I believe that little intercooler was getting a bit warm on some sessions. Because Dave does plan to this year to do a bit of track time with it rather than just hill climb, so obviously you need to keep the car cooler for longer, and obviously bigger stuff is better. I believe we're going for an alley radiator as well. We'll probably modify a Civic item like the same that we've done with ours. And then I believe Dave is also having our gearbox out of that with the LSD in it, limited slip diff. Because obviously we're obviously top secret. Hello Mickey, top secret, but we're using a different gearbox this year. More about that in another video once we've got some components come for it. And yes, I could have washed it, but didn't have time. There's a gale force wind blowing outside at the minute, as you can probably hear on the audio. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, which I'm also filming today, so that should be pretty soon. See you in a bit.